I'm the scam man. Yo, do, do, do. Skimmy, dimmy, ding, yo, do, do, do. Yo, do, do, ba, da, ba, da, ba, dee, ba, 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 do. Ba, 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 do. Wee, ba, 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 do.
Josh? I think you're on mute.
All that excitement.
I'm like, did something go wrong with my headset?
What's he saying? I am in a rush. I feel rushed today.
Why?
See, it's a 5-game slate, and that looks like the light I'm going with today. It's a 5-game slate.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big decision in regards to today's 12 days of Christmas.
Picks.
Welcome to Puck Props presented by Bet99. Good to see the pumpers there in the comments. We're on one, and we go. But the 12 days of Christmas, we started Sunday. We hit Shadur Sanders over 8.5 rushing. Dang. I'm like, I'm gonna roll that over. I'm gonna roll that over onto the Monday nighter. Tua interception. Boom. That happened second drive. That was easy.
Mm.
And then last night was perfect because you're like, okay, we got McDavid that we can turn the name McJesus into a cool name. I think it was our title was McJesus, the reason for the season.
Nice.
And if there was a spot for McDavid to put up 4 points, it was last night.
Yeah, against Skinner.
Yep. And then we run today. And today's a funny slate. If you're looking at it, it seems like an under one. Seems like an under slate, but ain't no under going on that rollover today, which is like $738.
And what are you leaning on?
My first thing I woke up to today was the Detroit-Utah game. Talbot's in net. They've been sloppy with him in net. Maybe a higher scoring game, but I'm probably going to go Larkin and Raymond point each, -110, like coin flip price.
You can, okay, so you're going to put $730 on that point combination.
Yes.
Look
at he goes, Dylan Larkin hasn't recorded a point in 3 straight games.
And you're going to bet that he's going to score a goal in this game?
Yeah, he has to.
All right. Ask our pumpers. What
let me know what I should do. I don't want to think
Josh should
do
with
400.
He needs one play to roll over.
I know. So it was that one, or it was like Detroit over 6.5 plus 05. DeBrincat is on a heater, which is not helping out. Like Florida team total over 3.5. Florida's playing great, but I'm worried about a letdown spot coming off the Tampa Bay game, facing a Kings team that lost their goalie, and they can play some really poo-poo hockey. Or Winnipeg, but I don't know. Winnipeg's still a bad team, and I don't even know if Hellebuck will play. You got the questions in Carolina. You got Boosie's been incredible, 11-1 in his 12, but Nashville all of a sudden is playing good hockey.
Yeah.
And they go on the run. And Vegas has the flu bug going through, and Eichel's questionable, and so is Theodore. So there's lots of questions. But my first question to you is what happened. A couple things happened over the break. Kevin Adams gone. Jarmo Kekalainen is the GM of the Sabres.
Yeah.
Since Terry Pagula bought the Sabres, this is a tweet from NHL News, they've gone through 5 GMs, 8 head coaches, including 2 Lindy Ruff tenures, 28 goalies with 1 games played, which is crazy, 7 captains, 2 first overall picks, and 0 playoff appearances. I believe, if I am correct or not, when you were with St. Louis, he was the assistant GM and director of amateur scouting. Am I right?
Yeah, correct.
What, and you coming from Buffalo too, where do you see this move for the Sabres as on a scale of 0 to 10 on the positivity scale?
Well, you kind of knew that this was the path that the Sabres were going to eventually trend towards when they brought him in at the end of last season to join the management team. You know, like, regardless of how you feel about Kevin Adams, every player, every person's job usually comes to an expiration date. And I think his was way past the date. You look at his tenure there, it's not real pleasant. for the Buffalo Sabres fans with some of the decisions they made on players, the lack of success that they've had, the coaches that they've chosen. And I think Yarmo brings something that the Buffalo Sabres haven't had in their front office for, since the last time they probably made the playoffs, and that's experience at the GM position. I mean, every GM that they've hired over the last 2 decades has been a first-time guy, right? Yarmo's been a GM, and he's had success with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he was just a byproduct of a decision gone bad with the whole Mike Babcock situation, and it pushed him out of Columbus. So I like this this change. Yarmo is a guy that builds a culture on hardworking people, on performance both on and off the ice, accountability, and I trust that he's going to put people around him, hockey people around him, to help get this team to the next level. And I'm going to read a quote from Carlo Colaiacovo yesterday in his press conference, because he made it clear that qualifying for the playoffs won't be enough as long as he's the general manager. He said, it's great to make the playoffs, but we're not just here to make the playoffs. We're trying to build a championship team. Winning the cup is the goal. I think every team in this league is here for the same goal, and that's the goal we're going to have in Buffalo. Obviously, you got to make the playoffs first to be able to even compete for that. So clearly this guy has a long game plan, but I think the Buffalo Sabres fan base will take a playoff team before even discussing a chance at the Stanley Cup.
There's pieces there, right? Like there's
whether
they want those pieces or not, they're
all they've done is stockpile. They don't recruit any big name free agents, so they've got to find a way to either turn some of those, assets that they've stockpiled into something credible, or they've got to make bolder decisions when it comes to decision on players.
And I believe his first position when he was with the Senators helped bring in guys like Hossa, guys like Martin Havlat, Ray Emery. Like there's a good crop, and the reason why he made the move over to St. Louis and then eventually did he go to St. Louis and then went to the KHL for Jokerit?
He did manage in Jokerit. I think he did that.
Is that how it's pronounced? Jokerit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe one of the best logos in hockey.
It was. It still is. Is it? They're still there, no?
I think so. Right? Like the travel from there to I think it's Kunlun, the one in northern China.
Yeah, the China team.
Yeah, that is a crazy travel. That's like across, I think Russia only has one time zone, but yeah. All right, but that's what we got. So I appreciate the insight of that. I mean, it's probably positive news for Buffalo fans, but there are things to get excited about. They are being priced as a team that's playing well, especially at home. Let's go Florida at home, -140, over under sitting at 5.5. We're going Florida team total over 3.5 plus 125. Was thinking about regulation. And this one does have some thought into where I want to put that big rollover, that 3-game rollover. But I am worried that, that was the road trip that Florida just dominated. Florida have won 5 of the last 6. First game back from that 4-game road trip where they beat Tampa Bay 5-2. But I'm a little worried about the letdown spot here for Florida. But on the other side, the Kings are coming from Dallas. They lost their best goaltender. Their backup goaltending isn't great in Anton Forsberg, and I think they called up Phoenix Copley.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you balance that letdown spot versus actual personnel issues in the Kings? But the Kings can just suck up a game and play 3-2 and lose and play a pretty boring game.
Yeah, so you're talking about emotional letdown spot, because every time Tampa and Florida get it, just
that's what I mean, right? It was circled on the calendar. It's the end of a 4-game road trip, and
I think there's reason to feel a little bit cautious about this one, because you just, like you said, you worry about the emotional letdown that Florida could have coming off of that Tampa game where, man, I've never seen two teams hate each other as much as those two do recently. But in saying that, Florida's also in a position where, they have to recognize where they're at in the standings, right? And there's no room for error anymore in the Eastern Conference because you go on a losing streak of a couple games, you could easily be staring up at a pretty big deficit. You get on a roll here. Next thing you know, you give yourself some breathing room. And I think that's what Florida's, I think, going to be more focused on is they've rallied for 2 in a row here, and they got a good chance with somewhat of a what do you call it? A beaten opponent, right? With
yeah.
What did you think I was going
No,
to say?
nothing. No, it's just like
Yeah.
you got no producer.
I would say
a
bruised. Yeah, I wasn't going to swear. A bruised opponent in LA kind of feels like it's favoring Florida right now.
All right, yeah. So I'm on the Florida side here. Florida regulation. The schedule spot is the one thing that does worry about it. And someone says
sure.
Barrett Hayton. Yeah, Barrett Hayton. I know. It's one of my it's one of my new favorite stacks here. It's just like that second line power play 2 stack at plus 400. And that's what you see with the Bunting Hall play too. Rantanen takes down another person. Where do you stand on the Rantanen villain arc? Because I think it's what we need in hockey. Like I don't obviously like cheap shots, but it's like guys like Sam Bennett are like kind of good for the game. They rally teams. Like you kind of need a guy like that. And then all of a sudden,
there's an extra spotlight on those players, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but you don't see 40 goal scorers turning into that type of player.
No, you don't. And look, you just look at the incidents that he's found himself in. Like the only one I would say he deserved to get suspended on, he did get suspended on. There are some of them are just him playing hard.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the one the other night in LA, like he's not going out of his way to make contact with Kemper. He's just making a hard play, driving to the net.
Agreed. He just seems to be in it. Florida did win 5-2 in the November 6 matchup. I think it should say December, but I think it was close. Florida, number 3 offense and expected goals for his last 60, all strength in the last 10 games. Reinhart, E2, Lundell, plus 260. Verhaeghe, Bennett, Marchand, plus 200. And then you have the Erod Samo stack there at the bottom, but I think it's not long enough for what I want. This is the game I have circled. Utah at Detroit. Detroit minus 125 over under, sitting at 6.5. We got the Krause-Hayton stack here. Both teams coming off back-to-back games, and it should be Talbot versus Vejmelka. That's how it should be. Back-to-back on the season. Detroit is 1-4 straight up on the second game following the back-to-back with just 9 goals scored in 5 games. That scares me a little bit. But Utah's played equally terrible. 1-5 straight up on the second of a back-to-back with just 10 goals scored. Talbot has been terrible. 5 straight losses, 19 goals against, .852 save percentage, and an .877 save percentage over his last 30 days. Vejmelka is going over a tough stretch. He had a game off last night, but he played 4 straight prior to that. .878 save, 2-2, over 5.5 in all of those 4 games. He's a 500 goalie with a 900 save percentage over his last 30. Now, Detroit playing better hockey, leading the division. They're 6-1-1 in their last 8 after a 6-game road trip where they went 4-1-1. They came home. They took care of business versus the Islanders with a late goal, 3-2. 2 power play goals, no Larkin point, but I feel like that Larkin point is coming tonight, and I think that's why I'm going to do it. Utah has allowed 3+ goals in 5 straight. They're playing some kind of sloppy hockey, and Detroit top 5 in goals for and expected goals for last 10 games. The power play has been hot. I think this is it. I think I'm circling it. I woke up, I opened my eyes, and I said, Larkin Raymond stack minus 110. I think $740 is going on it.
Okay. All right. It's ballsy.
Utah 3rd and 4 and 4th and 6. There you go. Thank you, Insight.
So why don't you just do Detroit?
Because I don't trust Cam Talbot.
So Detroit money line is like, it's pretty much the same value as you're getting.
No, I don't trust Cam Talbot. No.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
4-1. We can still get this 4-1. They're at home. Yeah, too many check marks. They're at home. They get last change. Their number 2 line right now is DeBrincat, Andrew Kopp, and John Leonard, who we were asking about before. Let me know in the chat if John Leonard, because I think Jonathan Davis will know. Is John Leonard Ryan Leonard's brother? It makes.
Did you try to Google it?
No, I didn't even have my microphone on before. That was like the last thing I was trying to do. Obviously, that didn't work out.
Okay, I'll find out. There's Ryan Leonard.
Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, Jonathan Davis says yes.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are brothers.
So he's playing on that second line. Power play looked good. The stack I almost kind of looked at past Larkin Raymond was Raymond and Sider. The only thing that scares me about Larkin is bumper net front. Like, he's not a wall guy. He's not a point. He's not a wall guy. And they had 2 goals last night where he didn't get one on the power play, which kind of hurt. That's it. That's what it's going into. I think I'm going to call it stacking stuffers.
Nice.
Stacking stuffers.
I like that a lot.
I know. That's the reason why they're going. It's the attention to detail. But no, Detroit coming off a game where I think is one of the scariest goalies to play in hockey right now, not in Logan Thompson, but in Ilya Sorokin. Got that 3-2 win and now get Vejmelka. And I think everything's just frozen on my computer. Now another game. Like, there's so many question marks with these games. And let's go Winnipeg, St. Louis. Now, the question here is, we have St. Louis as a plus 125 home dog with the total sitting at 5.5. I'm going to go Winnipeg team total over 3.5 plus 130. Jordan Binnington is back in net likely, and that is good for an offense. Joel Hofer played 2 straight. Binnington, 15 goals against in his last 3 games. He's 3-5 straight up with a 3.75 goals against and an 869 save percentage over his last 30 days. He is not running into Olympic form. Binnington's the worst goalie in hockey, if you didn't know, and goals saved above expected with 11-plus goals, and the second worst with 10-plus goals. Do you think Hellebuck plays a 3rd straight game, or do they have to baby him, or they just have no choice right now just to lean on him?
I mean, I was surprised to see him back this early, but
no one knew that. It was expected like early January.
And if that's the case, like, do you really want to run him into the ground coming out of, an early injury diagnosis? Like, Winnipeg's in some serious trouble. They're 5 points out of a playoff spot. Now, Hellebuck has returned, but the question is, can they afford to miss out on any more points? Because if you're thinking about their chances to make the playoffs, somebody presented this to me today, 50-50. Are you over or under their chance to make the playoffs? I'm still going to go over that they make the playoffs because they're only chasing San Jose and Utah, right? For the final spot. So it's how much you believe in San Jose or Utah versus if you believe that like Winnipeg with Hellebuck back in net can catch them.
Man, San Jose winning last night without Will Smith, without who were they? Without Philip Kurashev too. Like, they were missing some bodies, and that Macklin Celebrini goal was
nasty.
Filthy. That was. Who'd he burn? Was that Rasmus?
I think it was Rasmus Anderson. Yeah,
he got dusted. San Jose was paying good money to win that game. Another thing you wanted to touch on today was the Minnesota goaltending that just keeps getting better. And when we were talking about Jesper Wallstedt having a push for the Calder, having a push for Vezina, obviously not as much now. Now you're starting to see Gustafsson take the lead.
Right.
But this is a tandem right now. Last 30 days, number 1 goals against at 1.79.
Yeah.
My question after the trade, getting rid of Rossi and who they have offensively. Right now, that second line is Trenin, Yurov, and Tarasenko, which is awful. That is not anywhere near a second line.
Yeah.
But if they lean into that goaltending and now a pretty loaded blue line, can they get away with running that top line 20 minutes? You wouldn't like run 20 minutes at 5-on-5, but
it's not
overdoing that top line and just relying on that goaltending and winning 3-1 games?
It's not ideal, but elite goaltending gives you the confidence to play any way you want, right? And I don't think the Minnesota Wild are a finished product, especially if they've made this all-in move with Quinn Hughes. So I think that they're still going to address some of the depth needs that you and I both think that they probably could use. I mean, you look at their bottom six. It's Foligno's returning, Hartman's their center iceman, Nicholas Aube-Kubel, and there's Ben Jones, Nico Sturm, and Tyler Pitlick. Trenin, Urov, and Tarasenko is their second line. I know they're missing bodies. Like Zuccarello is still out. Marcus Johansson is out. You would think that they'd probably look to add one or two more pieces to that group. But that top line and their defense and their goaltending can do enough to just win them hockey games. And then you get the odd chip in goal from the rest of the 9 forwards every game or every other game. They're sitting pretty good. And the thing about that move that Minnesota made to acquire Hughes is they did it because they see the goaltending that they have, and they probably have discussed what we just talked about. Well, if you add Quinn Hughes, now you've solidified that D group. You've definitely improved your power play. Is there a chance we can go out and improve more of our depth in our lineup? And I think they see that. And in a central division where you're already seeing Colorado and Dallas take off, it's a bold move for Minnesota to take.
Your buddy Bill Guerin's got a big old pair on him.
Yeah, and I applaud it. It's great.
Where do you value that trade before we get to the last couple games here?
Well, Minnesota definitely got the best player in the deal, but I thought Vancouver did amazing with the haul that they got back. Like Zeev Buium is going to be a legit number 1, number 2 defenseman.
Agreed.
And you added a top 2 center iceman in Marco Rossi. You added a
middle 6 winger and Liam Ogren, maybe.
And middle 6, like that could. He's a guy that has upside too, right? And he's looking pretty good. He scored his first goal the other night. And then you added another first-round pick which is going to be a really, really strong draft this year. So I think they fared very well.
Yep. Carolina, speaking of faring well, at Nashville plus 155, home dog, total sitting at 6.5. We're going Bunting, Holla plus 400. Why am I doing that? They're running 3 lines. They're running basically 4 lines of 5-on-5 even. Power play, even. This line stacks well, correlates. Jonathan Marchessault on that line. I think if you add him, it only goes to like plus 600. So I think just take the 2 correlated guys. We go Shane Gostisbehere for an assist at minus 110 as well. Carolina, 4 straight winning games, but 3 straight shootout winners. That's not always easy to do, but the story of the world in Carolina is not rookie, but rookie left-handed. We like everything about Brandon Bussi is kind of just not stereotypical in terms of a guy who is the fastest goalie ever to get 10 wins. He's 11-1 in 12 games, 205 goals against, 911 save percentage. That 911 save percentage is showing you that he's not, he's not a 940 guy. He's a 911. The team's playing well in front of him. Undrafted, waived by Florida. I know Andy Francis talks about it a lot. How important is goaltending if you can just go get an undrafted wave guy and then put up like that? Structure, much more important than goaltending.
I mean, I think that highlights it with an exclamation point where you get saves no matter who it's from. You're going to win your more share of hockey games, right? So regardless if he's in your system or not, if you find him off the scrap heaps and he comes in and makes saves for you and wins hockey games, who cares where he comes from?
And I think Andy Francis refers to it as like what we do in the NFL with running backs, where you just throw one in there and eventually one will hit and maybe he'll hit a wall. And then you just go get another one.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. But I think interesting to see if Bussi does get the call. I would assume so, but maybe they lighten it up versus the Nashville team that all of a sudden Nashville 7-3 straight up in their last 10 after a 1-9 straight up stretch before that. 2 losses in their last 5 games, Colorado and Carolina.
Wow.
So I know they're playing good hockey. Number 2 offense, last 10. Saros is 5-1 straight up in December with a 920 save percentage. And this was a spot where like, okay, let's get lazy and let's just pick Carolina. But no, it's a tough spot for a team that plays much better at home than on the road. And I don't know. I'll stay away from it, but I will go those two stacks. Goss to spare 16 points last 16 games, points and 10 of his assists in 10 of his last 16. I'll take the assist, playing good minutes. And then the one everybody else wants to hit, New Jersey and Vegas. Everyone's like, Vegas is easy. Vegas is it. It's that flu bug situation. And you saw how it affected the Kings in their Dallas game, which was a really good spot to hit them. I know they scored first. The Kings did, but Dallas came back to win 4-1 in that game. Eichel dealing with an illness. He left practice last game, so he's questionable. Theodore, upper body, he's questionable. Those are some big pieces, but on the New Jersey side, they might get Brett Pesce back today. That's probable, but there's still Timo Meier questionable, Gritzy questionable. Nemec is out. Jack Hughes obviously out. This is a team that's lacking depth and now has to face a Vegas team that comes home after a 4-0-1 road trip. That just beat this same New Jersey team 3-0 as a -140 road favorite December 4th. I would like to get my wins and go to bed before a Vegas late game here. But talk to me how to question around this time, around the Christmas time, how that flu bug fights through a locker room.
Yeah, well,
it hits everybody. Like, you can't, like, right? Is it really hard to stay away from it?
No, it's impossible. If it's in there, it's gonna spread. Right?
And what's the length of it?
Everybody's different, right? So it's really hard to say, give it a timeline. It depends on.
Does it suck more traveling?
Oh yeah, when you're dealing with this on the road, yeah, it sucks.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, no. So maybe we're starting to see that with the with Eichel leaving. So maybe it's just hitting, but Vegas going from where did they just play?
Islanders, I think.
Yes. So then they came home. So that's a bunch. That virus is just percolating in the team travel.
It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
Mostly hazmat. So that's it. Keep an eye on it. Well, we'll see the morning skates, but so far we've seen a lot of these morning skates be, he's sick, he's not playing.
Yeah. Well, I think for two reasons. One, the guy's not 100%, but two, you want to manage the spread of it, right? So that the other players don't get it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, those are the questions. Like, I got maybe my biggest bet of my life coming in today. Obviously,
I wish you luck, man. I'm going to be following.
I know, but a lot of people are like, okay, like, let's try to be square. Like, let's try to be safe, right? Vegas, there's question marks for Vegas with the bug. Carolina is priced, and I don't know if Nashville's very good play right now is being priced in, and sooner or later that Boosie dam has to crash, and that's probably the last time I ever say that. Winnipeg, same thing. I don't even know if Hellebuck will play. St. Louis is awful, but I mean, Winnipeg's been bad. Detroit, Utah, I think is a game I circle, but Florida is, as I said, that schedule spot. So questions on a Wednesday, better than questions 8,000 of them on a Thursday with those games. Plays are there. Let's have a day. I will be betting Dutch national football soccer today that starts at 12:45. So ask me what you want. I will not tell people to bet it because I have no edge. I just like some afternoon action. That's what I'm doing there.
I love
it. I appreciate the pumpers there in the chat. Appreciate you, Carlo. We'll see how the bugs travel across the thing and see how things get turned around in Buffalo. I'm Josh Inglis. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. Puck props from Covers presented by Bet99. Let's go. Christmas spirit rollover day 4. Let's crash.
All right. Good luck with it. I'll be following along, and we'll talk all about it tomorrow.
Yo,